All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Fatheads Brewery, and they're out of Middleburg Heights, Ohio, and this is their Crumble Berry. So they're calling this one a cinnamon and vanilla honey blueberry ale, and underneath that it says malt beverage brewed with honey, blueberries, spices, and malt natural flavor. It comes in at 5.1% alcohol by volume, 13 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just over 5 weeks old. So we got another variant here of Fatheads Bumble Berry, which is one of their flagship beers. I reviewed that one back in 2018. I always find it to be a very solid and enjoyable. Late last year, I reviewed Stumbleberry from them, which is an imperialized version of that beer, and it was really nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and this is like the crumble variant, so they're kind of going for like a blueberry crumble, I guess, in beer form. We'll see. Let's crack this one open, get in the glass, and see what we got going on here. So my dad loves Bumbleberry. He really loves Stumbleberry because it was higher ABV, and he's been enjoying this one. So there's definitely a lot of people out there that seem to enjoy the Bumbleberry lineup of beers, and I must admit, I'm one of them. I've had Bumbleberry on tap at the brewery with actual blueberries in it, and you know what? They say don't fruit the beer. That beer was delicious on tap. Anyway, there was chunks that fell off or fell out. I don't know. I guess maybe some like sediment and whatnot. Anyway, that has this nice like burnt, hazy orange color. Has just over a finger of this off-white, almost eggshell white colored head. Looks somewhat creamy, somewhat soap sudsy. Looks pretty solid. Hold it up to the light. Yeah, I don't know if you can see like some of the particulates that are like just floating around. One's on the side of the glass here. I don't know if you'll see it. My camera sucks, so it's down here somewhere. But there's quite a few of them. Again, hold it up to the light. Yeah, has that nice like burnt, hazy orange color. It looks nice. And it smelled wild when I cracked it open. What I love about this beer, the main thing I love about this beer is that the blueberry character actually smells authentic. It smells like fresh, over-ripened blueberries. It always does. It has a nice, it doesn't have that artificial kind of blueberry tinge to it. It actually smells authentic. Getting a little bit of sweetness, could be the honey. Yeah, usually is the honey. I'm not like specifically picking up honey in the nose, but it has like a kind of like what a honey sweetness, or a lot of times maple. When I don't get specifically maple, it's just like, oh yeah, it's gonna be sweeter. Even though you can't smell sweetness, it is what it is. I'm not getting much cinnamon or vanilla. If I'm being honest with you, this smells very akin to just a regular Bumbleberry. Maybe a little bit more intense, but this is a fresh can. It's just over 5 weeks old. A little bit of like maybe like a slight like wheat kind of sensation. Yeah, it smells very akin to the base Bumbleberry. I really can't tell the difference, maybe in the taste. Cheers, everyone. So in the taste, definitely picking up on the cinnamon. The blueberries there, really nice, again, authentic, very dry beer. It's very dry, which makes it infinitely more drinkable, because without that dryness, I think it'd be a bit too sweet from all the cinnamon, the vanilla, the honey, and the blueberry, kind of hit you as a whole. Again, not getting much vanilla, but the cinnamon. I think the dryness might be coming from the cinnamon, or perceived dryness from the cinnamon. Minus a 5.1, lower side of medium, it's fine. I want it a little bit lighter because this is meant to be a crusher. The mouthfeel, it's it has like, moderate to touch over moderate carbonation, but it is smooth on the palate, so really nice from that aspect. The taste, right up front I get malt sweetness. Again, that honey could be blended in because I'm not tasting like honey specifically, but it has like this nice, I'd say malt sweetness that's a little bit like a weedy kind of sensation as well. Dives underneath the palate. Then after that, a big blast of, again, over-ripened, fresh blueberries hits me right at the front of the palate. As it continues on, the cinnamon hits about 2/3 of the way through the palate, and that carries on to the end. And again, it's very dry. This is like full-on dry. There's almost no bitterness to speak of here, but it has a dry finish to make it way more balanced and drinkable, like I said earlier. Otherwise, I think it'd be a bit too sweet and too malt-driven. You really can't taste any hops in here. The biggest disappointment for me is, to my palate, there isn't a substantial difference to the base other than that cinnamon. I'm not really picking up on any vanilla. Like I would assume, they call it cinnamon and vanilla. I thought the vanilla and the cinnamon would be boisterous. The cinnamon's there, but it's not over the top, which I appreciate. But the vanilla, I'm not really picking up on. Yeah, it's like All right, that last sip, maybe I'm getting a touch of that like crumble-esque kind of character on the finish. Very, very slight. And this isn't too cold. You know, it's been out of my fridge for like 20 minutes. Yeah, as I drink out a little bit more, maybe a little bit of that crumble on the back of the palate. Kind of, maybe the beer's opening up a little bit. But it's not, like, again, substantially different than the regular Bumble Berry, which I do enjoy. I typically give that beer like a 3.75. I think this is maybe slightly better. I think the blueberry character is a little bit more pronounced in this beer, both in the aroma and the taste, so I like it from that aspect. But I don't think it's different enough for me to be like, I'm definitely picking up Crumble Berry over Bumble Berry in that aspect. And when I asked my dad what he thought about this, he said pretty much the same thing. He was like, it doesn't taste much different than the regular Bumble Berry, which he loves. So he enjoyed this one, but he wasn't like substantially, or I shouldn't say substantially, I've said substantially like 4 times in this review. He didn't think there was a big enough difference in this one for him to be like, again, I'm buying this over the regular Bumble Berry. His preference at this point is Stumbleberry from the ABV standpoint. And I think that's my preference at this point. I really like the Stumbleberry. But this isn't bad in the least. I think this is, again, in that same realm of regular Bumble Berry. I might give it a slightly higher rating because I do enjoy the cinnamon dryness in this one. If I did get more of that crumble character, it would be probably closer to Stumbleberry and how much I enjoy this one. So Crumble Berry from Fatheads, I have absolutely zero issues. I say that in every fucking review. Joe, stop saying that, please. You're killing me. I'm going to give this a go high 3.75. I'll go 3.85. I think that's where this one lands. It's nice. And I would say if you like the regular Bumble Berry, pick this up, at least a can of it. You can get singles or a 6-pack to try it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed with the beer as a whole, but you might be disappointed that it's not, to my palate anyway, much different than their regular Bumble Berry. And again, everybody's different. So if you've had this one before and you thought that it was way different than the regular Bumble Berry and you got, tons of, cinnamon and vanilla and this and that, like, hey, throw it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Price point availability, $11.99 a 6-pack, $2 a can. I'm fine with it. And the availability, it's Fatheads. Wherever you see Fatheads stuff, you probably already should have seen this one or see it on the shelf as we speak, although distro's weird, so who knows? They might have a beer finder on their website. I don't know. Yeah, Fatheads is, for the longest time, I used to go to their brewery and whatnot in Cleveland, or outside of Cleveland, and I love the brewery, both the brew pub and the actual production brewery there. Now we get stuff here in Buffalo, and I'm pretty happy about it. And I like trying out their stuff. And if they come up with another Bumble Berry variant, I will 100% review it because I like that. Again, the base beer is nothing amazing to my palate, but it's one of those, to me, like summer crushers, where if you want something that's like a fruit beer that's not over the top, that has some nice flavors, Bumble Berry is where it's at. So if you've had this one before, post the comment section, 5.1%. You really can't tell. And like I said, it has a nice balance. I really like that dryness on the finish. I just wish there was definitely more vanilla and more of that crumble-esque character I'm looking for in a beer named Crumble Berry. That's what I want, but it's not bad. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.